feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome to our new here. I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So happy Day of Dead to all of you. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween. Well, in the past, because today is November 1st, 2022 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But nonetheless, happy Halloween and happy Day of the Dead for all of you who celebrate. So I quickly want to put on here that we have the current news article on Google, so you guys can look and see when this video is being recorded. And so I've been thinking about wanting to do this video for quite a while, so that is what we're going to do in today's video. Everything in this video is going to be timestamped in the description below, so feel free to pause to this video to get to the question that you want to have answered. So it's going to be a multi-part video. It's going to be pretty short because I only have 3 questions, so it won't be here too long. So here are some quick disclaimers on your screen right now. Feel free to read them on your own time. And this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. So to keep that in mind as well. Here are some quick other disclaimers if you like to read them on your own time. Okay, so the first question that we have here is, of all outcomes for Biden in this reality or timeline, what has the highest chance of occurring? Impeachment, 25th Amendment removal, illness, death, assassination, or retirement. Now, the reason why we're exploring this is because Biden had a very stressful 2 years, and he will probably most likely have another stressful 2 more years. So we have to really go in and really explore Biden's possibility. Now, if we get an impeachment trial for President Biden, chances are that indicate that the Republicans are going to win this November. Well, this month. They're going to win this month if we see an impeachment trial for President Biden. And the only way the impeachment can be brought upon, the Republicans must have control of the House of Representatives in order to draft the articles of impeachment for President Biden. And so we're going to explore that as a secondary account to kind of see, okay, what way is the tarot card saying who's most likely to win this November. Hi, Dennis. What's up, my love? Yeah, it's been a while. It has been a while. I didn't realize I only uploaded 6 videos in the past 30 days. So definitely expect more videos to be coming out in the future as well. Okay, so actually, before we do go, because I wanted to make a quick announcement here before I actually forget about it. If you go to my YouTube channel and you scroll down to upcoming live streams that you see here, make sure you hit the notification button because we will be doing a live watch party on election night for 2022 midterms. I don't know exactly what time the midterms start at MSNBC, but whenever that is, you guys can come join us on live here on the channel. We will have some special guests, so we'll be constantly entertaining. We'll be talking about politics, the midterms. We'll be talking about spirituality and other stuff as well. But if you feel strongly that you belong to be a part of that watch party, feel free, do not hesitate. We'll be happy to have you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got that out of the way. So how we're going to do this, I feel like a circle. So I'm going to make a circle here, and we're going to ask each possible question and see what one has the highest and likeliest chance of occurring in this timeline. No, I did not do that. That's going to be happening right after this video is done, after this video is over. I have not made it yet. Okay, so we have the impeachment. We have health. We have America eclipse. We have the tower takeover. And then we also have the United States of Terror. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask one card for whatever deck I really feel resonates, and we're going to do for each topic and see what one has the highest chance of occurring. Okay, so they told me this card that comes out of this deck, United States of Tower, is going to be specifically referring to the impeachment, the possibility of an impeachment by the Republican House, or it is also going to be indicating a possible assassination plot on Biden. You're welcome, Dennis. So, Spiritual Angels, tell me, can you please give me a card on the possible outcome, the most likeliest possible outcome for President Biden in this reality? What are the probability of an impeachment occurring for President Biden for the next 2 years? Okay. Clarification card. Okay. The next question that we're going to have is the 25th Amendment. What is the 25th Amendment? What one represents the 25th? So we're going to be using this one. No. No. I don't see that happening. If anything, it would be Pete Buttigieg. All right, so Spirits Angels tell me, in this outcome, what is the most likely outcome in this reality or timeline had the highest chance of occurring? The 25th Amendment. Okay. Clarification card. Okay. All right, next question. We have illness. We're going to be using this deck with a mix of the Health Tarot deck. What has the likeliest outcome of occurring in this reality for the future of President Biden in terms of illness? Is that the most likeliest outcome? Oh. Okay, well that is well, we'll talk about that in a moment. Okay. We're also going to add in the Body Health Tower because this is a brand new deck that I use. I haven't used it on the president yet. I've been wanting to, so we're going to use it now. Now, this deck in specifically is very hard to read, so this will be the first time I will ever use the guidebook. So, Spiritual, okay, that is way too many. Sorry, guys, hold on 1 second. All right, so Spiritual Angel tell me for the most likely outcome to occur for President Biden's future in this reality or timeline, specifically for the question of illness. Okay. The next question is death. Okay. I think this deck would actually do well. All right, so Spiritual Angel tell me, for out of all the outcomes for President Biden in this reality or timeline, what had the highest chance of occurring? And the question that we are asking is death. Does it have the highest probability? Okay. Clarification card. Okay. But they want me to mix this with this Tower Takeover. So we're going to have one Tower Takeover so we can get a little bit more of an internal meaning. Okay, 1 second, guys. Yes. So, Spiritual Angel, tell me, out of all the outcomes in President Biden's reality or this timeline that is occurring, what had the highest chance of occurring? In the topic that we're focusing on at the moment is death. Thank you. Okay, next one. We have assassination. Dennis, we're not going to be talking about the future of Biden in terms of probability. This is more so focusing on President Biden's future. So I'll do that in another video, and I'll talk about my There's been on a news cycle now that there is a new virus, a mutated, where it's a combination of a hybrid between two separate viruses. If you guys may have recalled, I've been telling you guys about that since 2021 and 2020. So we're going to be revisiting those videos, and then we'll be talking about the hybrid diseases. Okay, so you're welcome. Okay, so Spirits Angel, tell me about the assassination. Out of all possible outcomes for President Biden's future, is assassination the most probable? And clarification card. Okay, we're on deck for clarification. Do you want me to use my own homemade deck? So we'll be using that for clarification. So Spirit Angel, tell me, out of all the probable outcomes in this reality, for President Biden, is assassination one of the most likeliest outcomes? Clarification for President Biden's potential assassination. But that's the most likely outcome for President Biden's future. Okay. All right, next question, last one, retirement. What one best describes Biden's retirement? Okay. Out of all possible scenarios and any other outcome for President Biden's future, Spirits and Angels, is retirement the most probable outcome for President Biden? Okay, any clarifiers? All right, they told me to take the right away to clarify. Now, I never saw Kamala Harris as president, at least under Biden. I'll talk about that in another video. I've been saying that for quite a while now on the channel. Okay. Yeah, because I never saw Kamala Harris becoming president under President Biden. She hadn't even specifically told me in 2020. And so we're going to talk about that when we revisit that video. I want to talk about Kamala Harris' future. She'll become president, but not under Biden. Okay, so this is what we have here. We have impeachment. We have the 25th Amendment, illness, death, assassination, retirement. Okay, these are all probable outcomes in President Biden's timeline, this one right here specifically. So, let's take a look. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about here is the probability of Biden being impeached. This is the really key indicator. If we get that Biden is impeached in the House of Representatives, this indicates that the Republicans win in the next couple of days come the midterm elections. Because we have about 7 days to the election here, 1 week away. So the first card that comes in is we have the Knight, the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is George Washington, believe me, oh my God. George Bush. I'm right here. He's sitting down, painting on his craft or whatnot. But you see the two Twin Towers in the background. Now, all of us know the Twin Towers crash and burned, right? That was a domestic terrorist type of thing that occurred. Not domestic terrorist, but it was a terrorist attack nonetheless. Right? And we're talking about the impeachment here. And we have Fourth the Moon, right? And this is like hidden and gendered, but it's going to be illuminated. Something that's hidden will be illuminated. And what this feels like to me is that there's going to be some sort of revelation of some sort about President Biden that kind of like makes the Republicans go ahead and jump on it. Even if it's not real, they're still going to jump on it. And the thing is that, in a way, it feels like they're going to blame him for the result of the insurrection that occurred on January 6th. Because we have here people flooding the gates of the Capitol, right? And this is the Ten of Swords. And what this feels like to me is that there's going to be an agenda that's going to be put forth in the House of Representatives here in the Congress that's gonna try to impeach Biden. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Pentacles kind of tells me it kind of makes the nation kind of shake. It doesn't really help the case for the Republican, and doesn't really help Biden either. It kind of like in a way forces the voters to kind of feel like enclosed and feel close to whoever they voted for in the 2020 election. So if they voted for Trump, they're more likely to stay on the Republican side and stay with the Democrats. So it's going to be more of a partisan issue than anything else. Now, the likelihood of this occurring is what, Spirit? It has a probability, but it wouldn't be the likeliest one of them all. But it does show a potential for a Republican House. Now, as for the next one here, we have the 25th Amendment. Now, 25th Amendment involved his own cabinet, hand-selected people that Biden has put in the cabinet that potentially issue that Biden cannot perform his duty as president, and therefore they must remove him from office. And this will be one of those outcomes here. So we have the SAR card. What's it? The presidency. Falling down from the presidency. And the card that actually was stuck behind it was the Moon card, which also is reversed. So it almost feels like one of the possible outcomes is illumination, but also hidden agendas. But it feels like the 25th Amendment wouldn't be one of those avenues for a sense of removal. And that is specifically because the Seven of Pentacles is here, is that there is no other person that should be in charge of the country than Biden at this moment. And that is particularly because if you were to put up Kamala Harris against Donald Trump in a rematch or an election scenario, Donald Trump would actually beat Kamala Harris. And so Biden is the best shot for the Democrats in order to maintain control of the White House or the presidency going forward. Now, the next thing that we have here is we're going to be talking about, in this specific timeline, what is the likelihood chances of illness occurring to President Biden's future? Okay, 1 second. I'm going to drink water. Okay. The first card we have here is the Five of Metal, which indicates the lungs and the intestinal area. I feel like if there was to be an illness scare of some sort, or even a potential passing away due to sickness and health, it would be related to the respiratory system or internal bleeding in the intestinal area. That's kind of what I feel like. If that was to happen, it would be in the intestinal area for over bleeding and making it very hard to breathe. It almost feels like his lungs would be filled up with blood. Now, that is just, again, a reminder that if, out of all the scenarios, if this one was to occur, this is what most likely would occur and how it will look. Good morning, Antonia. What's up, my love? We're going to be doing that in a separate video. We're not going to do Texas. But Texas is going to have its own separate video, and that's going to be included in the it's going to be included in the governor election, which is going to be a big video because it's going to be a bunch of different governor elections, but broken down with timestamps, so you can jump around in each video, but it's going to be pushed in one video, so it's more condensed and organized for all of you guys to be able to find it. We'll be doing a video specifically dedicated to Senate seats, governor seats, and then potentially some House seats like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and stuff like that. So we'll be focusing on those specific main characters come this election. So definitely expect those videos to come out this month. Hi, Andre. Hi, Andrea. What's up, my love? So we do have the gallbladder, and it is the devil card, which means enslavement. And what's really interesting as well here, it is indicating here that if Biden was to have these type of illnesses or some sort of sickness in a way, it would be because people have kind of made him sick in a way. It's almost like people have cursed him to be ill. It's the best way I could describe it. We have here one of the main things, if this was to occur, that forces Biden to experience illness in a light to which we have never seen for a president would be the coffin. And we do have the 19 card here, which is why I was saying that, okay, this might actually be one of the highest probability. So we do have the death card here. And it's funny though because it comes up through illness, but doesn't come up with death. Or at least I haven't looked at the card specifically yet. But we do have here one of the driving factors that really makes Biden extremely sick is the stress of the presidency. And we have here toil and labor. I think everybody really can see that Biden is fully stressed that he had to take on more than a normal president. He took on more than Obama did because he had to deal with so many stuff from Russia to China to domestic violence, all these, the economy, all these different things. It's stuff that Obama only had to lightly face, but not to the severity that Biden has. So in terms of this, as of right now, it looks like the impeachment and the illness looks like it's almost like it's on the level playing field. But out of the two of those two, I would say illness or sickness seems to be higher than impeachment, but not by much. Now, I want to talk about death here, the probability of death occurring for President Biden. Now, this is a little bit different than the specific question because this is indicating is he going to pass away just due to old age or something like that. A natural death by any means. We have the 6 of wood, and this is indicating the liver and gallbladder, which is all about freshness, right? The 6 of wands. We have the 6 of earth, right? Which is all about the kidney stones and the stomach, generosity. It's reversed. And then we also have here irritation, 5 of fire. And we have here the heart and intestinal area, the large intestine specifically, not the small intestine. And what this is really indicating for me as well is it's showing here that Biden is a very compassionate man. And if there was to be an issue in terms of death, it would be because he finally completed his work on Earth. He finally finished out his soul contract, and that he finally was able to let go. And this is why the green card showed up here. And he is finished. The red card shows up as, the 5 of fire, because it indicates that Biden finally became who he was supposed to be. And therefore, he finished out the rest of his soul contract, which means he has no longer any more soul contract or any more life thing that he must do before he passes away. So he completed that. If this timeline was to occur, that means he did everything he needed to do and that he was ready to pass over, right? And that's why this card comes in. Now, as for the yellow card here, this does indicate I do, but it feels like in a way, this probability of just a natural death occurring for Biden is unlikely. And that is because I do, it's the solar plexus chakra, but it's reversed. And what this indicates to me is that I do have more to do, but it's reversed. And it says almost like in a way, he's almost at the end where he doesn't really have much left to do, but I don't see a straightaway possible death for him. I feel like it's going to take a little bit longer than anticipated. But it is possible it can occur. But I would say, as of now, it will be sickness, impeachment, then death at the top 3 so far in terms of likeliness. This is a very good question. It does make a lot of sense why we see intestinal bleeding and internal bleeding in both the lungs area and in the intestines, which might indicate a poisoning. So that is something that we're going to explore right after the specific question, because I think that might be a question that we need to explore. Okay, so next thing that we're going to be indicating here is this is talking about assassination plot. Will Biden future involved in assassination of some sort? Okay, so the first card that we have here is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is Hillary Clinton with the White House here. And this is the Queen. And this is her holding that sword. And the sword mainly indicates in the tarot cards, it indicates the mentality aspect, mental aspect, right? What it kind of indicates here is that kind of the energy that could possibly come out of this potential assassination timeline, if it were to occur in this timeline, would be that people are deranged. That's the first word I heard, is deranged. So it really feels like Biden's future is not determined in terms of impeachment because it really depends on other people making that decision for him and not Biden making that decision for himself. Now we do have the hyphen card reverse, and it does feel like in a way if this was to occur, it would be because of it almost feels like it would be a radical evangelical Christian who will act out and fill out the prophecy that they were supposed to fill. But I'm not saying that that is a prophecy, but it's the idea behind the QAnon conspiracies within the Catholic Church and Christianity as a whole that almost makes me feel as if the Biden assassination plot had a very good possibility of occurring. And this is why. I don't know if you guys all recognize this man, but this is Martin Luther King Jr. And as you all know, he was assassinated. And so we're talking about assassination plot here. And so it is clearly indicating that it has a high probability of occurring, but wouldn't be the likeliest probability of occurring. And that is particularly because even though people are deranged, the president is more likely to be protected than, say, Nancy Pelosi, who had and someone breaking into her house trying to kidnap her and break her knees. And so we're going to talk about that in another video, hopefully soon. But that does come up for the assassination. So now we have the next card here, which is young voters, which is actually a reverse. And we have the election of 2000. What does swing states decide? Was it Ohio? And so what it's clearly indicating to me here is that Ohio is showing that, it's a swing state, which kind of tells me it's 50-50, it can go either way, which is what this assassination probability occurring. It means they had a 50% chance of of all timelines, of all outcomes, all possibility. Out of all those outcomes, let's say there's 100, 50 of them will occur with assassination, which seems to be the highest probability, just because it is 50 out of 100 outcome. Right? Even though sickness and impeachment seem to be the most likely at first, out of 50 out of 100 outcome, I would say assassination or a potential attempted assassination may occur. But that wouldn't be the end of Biden. That's the thing. High style was something I love, but it wouldn't be the end of President Biden. I don't see the assassination being successful. We do have the food industry reversed. It does show normal turnout. This is just saying that it's a normal occurrence. It's going to end up happening. It's because of the curse of zero. So if Biden was to potentially die due to assassination, pass away, sickness, or whatever, it wouldn't be unheard of in American history because every president elected in the year of zero had the tendency to pass away in some form or way. There was only one time, and that was before the curse was initiated. We do have here, I did do a video on it if you want to look at it. I have done the video on it. We have the winner unknown. And the winner unknown is indicated here that if this was to occur, the person who would act this out would be unknown. It almost feels like this person would not be caught. So if this was to occur, we wouldn't even know who did it. It would just be like full of conspiracy theories about who killed Biden, but we end up never knowing who actually committed the crime. And we do have here American capitalism, ultra rich versus middle and poor. So it almost feels like, in a way, whatever Biden does for the country, or even if the people blame him for the inflation, the economy, or whatever, that will be the driving motivator for them to commit them. And it almost feels like, in a way, when people don't have money or resources to properly live home, they become more radicalized, which wouldn't be unheard of in any sort of historical standpoint, even in psychologically as well. If Biden is assassinated, will it be in a country or a foreign country? I don't know. We're going to have to explore that question in a moment. Okay. Oops. The last one we have here is retirement. We have mature man. We all know Biden is very mature. We all made that very clear. We all know that. He comes in as the mature man. Now, as you look at this more mature man, it almost feels like he's sitting in his room with his books, taking a historical perspective, just kind of enjoying the rest of his life. That is the retirement, right? We have the sun. And the Sun card indicates that yes, it had a likelihood chance of occurring, but it almost feels like in a way that Trump would be one of those indicators that prevents him from actually having a peaceful retirement. Because as all of you guys may remember, I always said that Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and the United States are all tied in one. So if Donald Trump dies, something's going to happen to Biden and vice versa. So their future is intertwined together. And the United States, when Donald Trump dies, the transformation of the United States begins. And if you have watched my previous video on Trumpoween, definitely take a watch at that because I explained that in more in depth. And we do have the cherry cover first. I feel like in a way, it feels like as much as Biden wants a retirement, the political climate will not allow him to retire. And that is because the potential dangers of what proposes from the rest of the Republican, certain radical Democrats and stuff like that. So there are threats within the world that prevent him from actually reaching that point of retirement. So after going through all these different topics here, we have impeachment, 25th Amendment, illness, death, assassination, and retirement. Out of all the likelihood scenarios, even though this is 50%, assassination occurs 50% of the time, the most likeliest outcome will be these two. It will be sickness, severe sickness because of stress from the presidency and internal bleeding. We have the impeachment trial, the potential reality of an impeachment. I think this comes up a second because the Republicans do have a probable shot at taking control of the House of Representatives. But the third one will be assassination. Because it does say the Republicans don't take the House of Representatives, the assassination becomes the dominating force, and that would become number one. It will become one of the most likeliest outcome on top of sickness. So, as of now, it looks to be sickness, impeachment, assassination. If the Democrats maintain control, it will be assassination, sickness. That's the most likelihood. The retirement is the least likelihood outcome. And then it's the 25th Amendment, and then it's death. But because of death, indicating here that it won't be an automatic, slow, natural death, it does come up as almost second to last. And therefore, these two will be the most likeliest outcome for President Biden will be sickness or assassination. But that is what I see for the future of Biden. It really depends on who we vote for coming this midterm election. What will 2023 bring for both Trump and Biden? Trump passing in 2023, will Biden pass in 2023 also? No. Donald Trump, I channeled quite a while. If you have watched my video a long time ago, where I talked about the future of Donald Trump, and I spoke about how I kept seeing for a while now that President Trump, in one of my channeling, it does say that Donald Trump passes in 2025. But I also did get that Donald Trump could possibly pass after the Republican nomination for the presidency of the United States, which will probably be about August of 2024. So it'll be August, September, October, right before the midterm, right before the presidential election of 2024. What I kept seeing that there is a problem within the Republican Party because they're scrambling for a new candidate to take over. At that point, Donald Trump already picked a woman vice president running ticket. For President Biden's side, for the Democrats, I do see an issue on the Biden side if Donald Trump was to have some sort of issue in 2024. If that was to occur, I did see some issue with Biden, and Biden will end up having to be replaced. He might just go through with the election, then after that, he gets replaced. And I did see those two a possible outcome, which actually, ironically enough, by 2024, presidential election video that is coming out. Right now, I'm still working out the bugs. Once I get the bugs fixed and all that glitches out of the way, the video is going to be released, and that actually is one of the possible scenarios, and that timeline is 365. if you want to know what timeline that occurs in. It's 365. Okay. All right, I'm putting all the cards away. Then we're going to go to the next question. Look, we'll ask your poison question. Where's your poison question? Okay. Will Biden be slowly poisoned? Is that what the sickness card is coming up for? We'll ask the cards in a minute. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to quickly go take a quick ad break so I can actually put the cards away and drink water because I'm like very thirsty right now. We'll do that. Have you ever wondered how you can submit a question or a video request? Well, I will show you in this commercial how you can do that. So you go to my channel, you click on any of my uploads or any recent videos that you may see, and you go to the description. As you can clearly see, I already clicked on a previous video. You scroll down and you click right here where it says submit your question, topic, or video request here. You can also add in links and information that you would like to add in. You can ask at least 10 and you can keep resubmitting as many as you would like. You'll click that link and it will take you to my website. And this is what my website looks like. You could book a reading with me. You could find me email, other information along with my YouTube channel. You will click submit your video request here and you will click on that. And it will take you to a Google form where you guys can fill out and be able to put all your questions here. So thank you all for coming, and I'll just turn you right back to your content right now. Okay. So, I forgot I had the question still up. Oops, I was so busy. Okay, anyway, we're going to explore this question right now. Will Biden be slowly poisoned? Is that why the sickness card comes up? Now, a lot of you guys, if someone can really clarify this for me, if I am correct, when you are poisoned, you have internal bleeding, correct? So I am going to explore that because I did see internal bleeding, and then Dennis does make a good point here that he's asking if the person was poisoned. So we're gonna take a quick look. Spirit Angel tell me, will President Biden be slowly poisoned? Is that why I kept seeing in the sickness card that he comes up as internal bleeding? Okay, so the thing is, I heard in my right ear, that no, he had not been poisoned. It's because he almost like acquired a respiratory illness that caused internal bleeding of some sort. And the card that comes up here is voted right. It doesn't really answer the question. It just feels like, in a way, it feels like he's not been poisoned. He just acquired the symptoms of poison, but it's really an illness that causes internal bleeding. So I don't know what virus does that or what illness does that, but it does appear, according to what I'm getting from the source sheet, that it appears to be a respiratory illness. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, if Biden's assassinated, will it be in a country or a foreign country? If Biden's assassinated in America, it would be more likely here, because if he was assassinated, just say in another country, that's the start of a world war. That's the start of a war. Okay, I just want to make sure I make that very clear. The Spirit Angels tell me, if Biden was to possibly experience the outcome of which he is assassinated, will it take place in the United States or a foreign country? What has the likeliest chance? Okay, foreign country. Interesting. Yeah, it has the likelihood of taking place in a foreign country due to policy disputes. I do see a potentiality that the plane is either shot down or has some sort of malfunction. It may have been screwed with during the potential meeting, and then the plane goes down, and then that country is accused of assassinating the president. We have the justice card reverse, ill intent, hanging the person upside down. It almost feels like, in a way, it's made to look like an accident, but it wasn't an accident. At least that's how it appears. Then we have the devil card. So in a way, it feels like if anything, it will be because of a political dispute and the plane has been messed with. Um, we're gonna have to explore it in another video because I do need to be able to go through the rest of the questions, and then I do have to make that tornado video before I end up going to work. But that is a good question. Definitely put that question, the specific question, in the comment section, and I will explore that in another video. Or you can go to my website page and submit this, and potentially some point at somewhere down the line, I will be able to explore that. So I just wanted to make sure you are able to send those questions. I'm not going to be able to get through everything today. Okay, so will President Biden finish out his first term, which ends on January 20th, 2025? So Spirit Angel tell me, will President Biden be able to finish out the rest of his first term, which ends on January 20th, 2025? I said yes. Yeah, I always saw that President Biden finished out his first term. They seem to be clarifying here that they're talked about Biden, not running for president, or he's feeling really sick, or that he might be retired, or they might impeach him, blah, blah, blah. He's going to finish out the first term. I don't see him retiring, or at least, leaving or dying or assassinated or whatever. I don't see it happening within the next 2 years. He may be sick, but he may not even know it. It might just be internally bleeding that eventually take time before the symptoms are revealed. Okay, will Biden make an announcement that he is running for re-election? This is the last question, by the way. So Spirit Angel, tell me, will President Biden make an announcement that he is running for president of the United States? Is Biden going to run for re-election in 2024? Unlikely, but not unlikely. And that is because it's based on his health. But it feels like, in a way, he's kind of like taking his time to make the proper decision because he wants to do what is best for the country, which is why this cut is reversed. He's not trying to do really fast right after the midterms or whatever. He's taking his time to really make that decision and really think thoroughly. So don't really expect him to announce this year. He may announce next year, but he's not going to announce this year. It feels like he wants to make sure he can get his health in order and kind of really do a proper assessment to see if maybe it's the right choice to be making. So he's kind of like one of those analytical men who wants to make sure he's making the best decision. We have the 10 of Wands in the left side. And the 10 of Wands here is being pushed. And what this is kind of indicating here to me, it is indicating that, he had a lot of struggles in the past. So this is pretense. So what this is talking about here is that when Biden made this decision, a lot of things had happened that led up to when we made those decisions. Those are the cons of why he shouldn't run for re-election, right? Those are the cons. So let's say he makes a decision and announces it in January of next year, right? Everything from now all the way till January, those things will be in the right now it's our future, but in his reality, it's the past. Right, and that's what it's indicating here. It is indicating that there's a lot of things that Biden goes through that's going to be very stressful time period. We do have temperance, though. There is a sense of balance and harmony for him. And if he decides to run, he will win a re-election. Because that is exactly what the Democrats need in order to win. They need him to run for re-election, regardless of the circumstances in the country. We have here a Wheel of Fortune. The thing is that Biden has not made his decision, which means that this card is only as of right now. It's reading the energy as of now, which means it can change next week, it can change in an hour, it can change next month, it can change any point in time. So what is this indicating? If the energy were to stay true for itself today as it would be in January, then this would be the outcome. Again, Biden had not made that decision. It even says it in the card. You know, that is a good question to explore. This would be the last question I will leave off on. Okay, so Spirits Angel, tell me. Let's see here. So Spirits Angel, tell me if President Biden passed away before World War III starts. Even if there is a World War III, I mean, we already have World War III. That was where Hitler. Okay. And if you guys don't know that, that is a thing, actually. Prior to World War One, we had a Great World War, but it wasn't considered a World War because the Europeans owned majority of the world, which means that it was only on the European continent, but technically that was a World War because people from different continents had to fight for the European countries. So technically World War II is World War III. So in this case, it will be World War IV. Okay. So we have working on it, at this point, it feels like Biden's not president when this occurs. If this was to occur, Biden's not president. So I think the whole entire rest of the reading is invalid, but we'll just go with it, just to finish out the question. We do have here the likelihood of it occurring. It's 50-50. It feels like there's a 50-50 chance, but that was in the past. Like, it has some ways or potentialities for it to occur, but it doesn't feel like it's going to occur as of now. We do have ceiling and stuff like that. Biden doesn't need to worry because when this occurs, he's not president anymore, so it's not a problem. And we have the King of Pentacles. A lot of you guys know this is when a seat is reversed, especially a king or a queen, and it's reversed. It indicates that the person is not in power anymore. That is the future. I don't see Biden in power by the time this occurs. So no. Will Biden pass away before World War III starts? No. He'll be long gone away from the presidency. So no. That's good news, right? As long as Biden's president, we have no World War III. Yay. So that is the question that we have for today's video. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Now, quickly before you do, guys, just want to make a quick announcement. If you guys are interested, we are doing a watch party on my YouTube channel on November 8th for the midterm. So if you would like to join, go to my YouTube page, scroll down, and make sure you hit the notification button so you are notified when I go live for that watch party for the midterm. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to have a bunch of different special guests that's going to appear throughout the night, and we will be having MSNBC playing in the background so you don't miss out on election notice. We'll also be able to watch us as well. So we'll be talking about spirituality, politics. I'll be introducing my data for the midterm predictions and stuff like that. So there's going to be tons of great stuff there. So definitely do not hesitate to join us rather than just going to your traditional news network and getting your sources from there. It can be a little bit toxic if that's the right word for it. But if you want to come join us instead, I highly recommend it. You're going to have a lot of fun. And great part is you can interact with us too. So it'll be a lot of fun. I hope you guys, and I love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.